Hey, I'm in a gray Dodge Mag with the sunroof, slapping escape. Who can I run to? I'm spreading love. I got a gun too. It's no escape. Who can you run to? I'm in the east of the V playing frisbee. A rare sight, I'm a California grizzly. Bitch, I yell at stop signs, I can't stop. We from the bottom, we at the top. Used to get dropped off, now I'm in a drop. Still getting topped off, now I'm at the top. Came out the mud, they thought I was a rock. That's me off, bitch, I'm shining. Tell me hard, bitch, I'm grinding. Bad transmission, bitch, I'm grinding. Under bike, bitch, I'm grinding. Need new brakes, why? Bitch, I'm grinding. Hop out my bed.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's the last day.
They say my name, I yell back to the crib, hop in the bag, coconut oil, powder my ass, time to create, hop in the lab, toast in the wild.
I don't know if y'all see him in July.
Go get that bag, it's groceries outside. Go get that bag, it's that door gas. Go get that bag, rip off your ass. Go get that bag, go get that bag. Wow.
Last day of what a week, honey. Last day of what a week, okay? Let me see.
Let me spread love with this Mac. Nigga, you just gotta tell it up.
Here we go.
Yo, I see you with the merch on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Thanks. What's up, dog?
Man? Ain't nothing, man. Trying to make it, man. I am super excited to have you on, man. I've been working on these reels where I've been using your music as a soundtrack. I've been showing what you're doing with your friends and your family to my students, and I know some of them are tuning in too to watch because I've been talking about it all week. But
Beautiful. I'm doing well, man. I appreciate all the love and support.
Hey, it's worth it, man.
Come on, it's not free.
Well, if you are tuning in, guys, this is LaRussell of Good Company, right? He is doing some amazing things. He's a rapper, and I would say a thought leader. Like I said, y'all have seen me listening to this man's music as if it's my mantra. It's been the soundtrack to my work. And one of the things I think that it shows is that there's no age limit to wisdom, right? Like, I know I'm older than you, but I've been soaking up hella game from just listening to you and watching what you're doing, son. So, tell the folks who you are in terms of, like, where you go.
I'm LaRussell. I'm a neighborhood real nigga. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just be working. I just, we tackle what's in front of us. I'm just trying to be innovative and change the game and do new things, bring new elements into the space that hasn't existed.
Yeah. I see folks saying it's different.
Come on.
In the chat. It's different. So Good Company is described as independently operated by creatives. And like we said, the work is not free, it's priceless. What does it mean to be independently operated in today's music landscape and to be operated by creatives?
Man, independently operated by creatives is, exactly as stated. Like, this is something that we didn't grow this with the approach of a business. You feel me? It was really me and the homies, and all of us do music and make art and shoot videos, and we started this shit from the ground as a bunch of homies just trying to launch this shit. We didn't have the support, so we decided to create it and build that infrastructure.
Yeah, word. And it's like I said, it is amazing what you're doing, right? Like, what do you mean when you said that the work is not free, it's priceless? Take me through that, because I heard about man.
So I know, it's not free, it's priceless. I feel like everything that we're doing is invaluable. Value is infinite. It's no way to dictate what I'm doing. I can never put a price on the things I'm doing because it's infinite. It's life-changing. How could you put a price on something that could change your life or change the way you think or change the way you move and, everything? A blueprint. You can't put a price on a blueprint.
That's word up. That's word up. And you did that. Like I believe you've done that with a whole bunch of things, right? Like when you go on there to buy the merch, it's literally has the space to
Come
where you
on.
can pay whatever you want, right? Like you can literally pay whatever you want, right? And my homegirl, Casey Kelly, I am Casey Kelly on here. I am Casey R. Kelly, I believe, always says that support is a verb. I've seen you give ownership, right, based on like loyalty and support. You know what I mean? Why is that important for you to like give ownership to the people who
I
show
mean,
love and
because I
loyalty?
look at them as extended members of my team, and in the same way that when I come up and I
Yeah.
come up on something, I send my team some and make sure they good. We doing that with the fans as well. I mean, we wouldn't be in this position without. I've sold a lot of merch this past month, you know, so we gonna make sure that some people who bought merch gonna get some percentages and some shit just because they're deserving. Anybody who helped you
Yeah.
bake the cake
Yeah.
deserve to get a
Word.
slice of it, you know. Yes,
Cook together,
sir.
eat together. I'm already with you, brother. So you not only do music, but you just dropped the
Come
link to
on,
the
man.
book
What we doing?
Limitless, right? We got the book Limitless. Hey, it's how we own it, right? And in that book, you brought the homies together in that too, right? Like there's parts where you hollering at Tessie, where you hollering at Sad Guru. I mean, everybody in
Come
there,
on.
Punk's in there, Tope, right? All the homies is in there. And in the book Limitless, which y'all need to go to the site, to his page, hit the link, and go ahead and purchase that sucker. But in the book Limitless, you talk about the concept of 10,000 hours or
Hmm.
10,000 shots, as you call it. I believe I first heard that, like, I think in a Kanye interview or something that I went and looked deeper into it. And it's like this concept of mastery. Can you talk a little bit about that as your
Yeah,
mantra about
so
the
like the
10,000
original
shots?
theme is 10,000 hours, which most people are familiar with. But yeah, I kind of came around with the theme of 10,000 shots because I feel like you could dedicate an amount of hours to something, but if you know, that's just time being spent. It doesn't mean it's being allocated or spent properly. With
Mm-hmm.
shots, it's different because you know if you shot 10,000 shots, you improve. Even if you shoot a horrible jumper 10,000 times, you'll make it. Look at Sean Marion. That was that was a very interesting form, but he developed it. He shot it 10,000 times and that
Yeah,
motherfucker start going in. You feel me? So that's exactly how it is. I believe
yeah.
10,000 shots is anything. You know, you can't complain about not making it or being overlooked until you beat your craft down 10,000 times. Then, you know, that is the minimum before you can start complaining about not getting somewhere because this is what we achieve. And it's like, you know, people who want to be great have a hard time not being great. And that's just one of those things that come with it. You do
Yeah,
something you
yeah.
love and you do it 10,000 times. And after you hit that 10,000, if you're not where you want to be, then you can start complaining a little bit.
That's word up. I had a student who the coach had told him to go run, I think 500 bleachers or something. And he was like, man, I'm finna quit basketball. I was like, yo, that coach, 8 times out of 10, he's stuck. This is where he finna be. You run them 500 stairs, you at least 500 stairs better than everybody that ain't run 500 stairs a day. And he was just looking like, yo, like, I ain't never think
Right.
about it like that, but
Right, you
that's
know, I
that's
mean,
real. You
coaching
know what
is
I'm
one of
saying?
those things. Me and my homie Fani is always talking about how like you know, we'll go to the court sometime and we'll see people coaching, and you know, I look at it like I want the coach that's the person I want to be like. You know, like I like the coach who's gonna get out there with you. If you
Yeah,
want me to
yeah.
run 500, you better run them with me. You feel me? Like that's one of those
Word,
things where you
word.
know players look at it like that because you get a lot of coaches that don't have that same mentality. They're not out there putting that work in with you, so it's easy to be like, I want to quit. You know, if someone tells you your jump shot suck and they never help you
Hmm.
improve it, you don't want to play with them.
That's word up. That's word up, son. And so speaking of Ye, this is something that I've seen in the music because I always listen to lyrics like I'm reading a book because I think you said this before. You were like albums were
Right.
like the first
Somebody told me
metaverse, right?
that.
Like I think I heard you say that before. Yeah, like and because they took you somewhere, and so I'm listening to you talking about Wayne on Soup and Crackers, right? You were like, it's a whole lot of real niggas looking lame. Looked up to Lil Wayne, and now that nigga look insane. Then you go on to say, like looking at my
Come
idols
on.
who no longer wear a cape, spewing their
Come
beliefs
on.
while I no longer can relate, right? And then in the bootleg Kev interview, you were talking about how Donda was the first project you didn't necessarily run to. Why is it important to, because we know you love these artists, right? Like we
My
know
heroes,
these are
right?
like the blueprints, right? But why is it important for you to keep this honest critique in an industry that seems to
Um,
shun honesty?
Man, it's not even important to me in terms of the industry. It's important to me in terms of life. Being able to look at my
Word.
daughter and have to tell her, the truth and be real with her and my family and the people around me. I think it's just important. It's one of those things that you carry with you. I don't think it's something that you could take into the industry if you don't have it in your personal life.
Yeah, yeah, word. Man, I was like, that was one song. Just because I was telling the kids, I know you
Come
record a
on.
lot of that in the garage. So I'm like, y'all, like, if you saying you want to be a rapper, because I'm not that teacher that tell them, they can't. I'm telling them I need to be in the video later, and if you say that about me, I'm gonna drop a diss track saying you lied on me. So I'm showing him that, and I'm like, yo, this is all in the garage. Like all the homies is putting it together, and
Right.
you could do it too. You know what I mean? So I feel you on that. And speaking of that, another concept. I'm only gonna give y'all one more
They
concept out of the
gotta
book,
go
because y'all
get the
gotta
book.
go and purchase that joint. You know what I'm saying? But another concept in the book is the process. Once your work is done, your work is done. How does not getting wrapped up in the result
Man,
save
it
you from
it it
distraction?
it saves man, it saves you stress. I had a point last year where my body shut down through like anxiety. I thought it was like dietary, but it was I ended up going to Chinese acupuncture, and they start telling me about anxiety and working it up. And it's like just a pit from
Yeah.
stress and anxiety and all that shit. And that's from just like being so attached to wanting to make it and wanting to win and wanting something to do so well and do so good. And that's where, once your work is done, your work is done comes from, because you can't, once it's out of your hands, it's beyond you. And I
Yeah.
was just really in a space where I really wanted to control how impactful my art was. Why aren't you receiving it the way I want it to be
Word.
received?
Yeah.
And that's just some shit that's beyond you. And now that's why at the end of last year I was able to release so much music, because I was just letting go of it. Once it's gone, whatever. I don't care how it's viewed or perceived, we're gonna keep on moving.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's so real. Like that's something I really want to impress on my viewers and all the folks coming in. Like that's so real, because I watched you talk about, if you only post once a month, you only got 12 chances to change your life. You know what I'm saying? I post every day. That's
Come on.
365 chances. You know what I'm saying? Like it compounds. It's
Exactly.
compound interest. You know what I'm saying? Um, word. So let's see here. Where is it at? Oh man, where this thing at? Okay, here it is. On Hasten Ave Flows, you wrote, "Wonder if he knew his sacrifices would save me. Had to change the name to honor the man who named me." Right? Your father is a thread that
Come on.
runs through everything you do. Can you talk a little bit about his influence on your
Man, my
music and
pops,
your life?
his just his presence alone changed my life. I grew up with a lot of homies who didn't have fathers in the home, and I could see the difference. Just having someone there to kind of instill values and morals, even if it's not direct, even if it's through like fear or any other repercussive measure, like it just changes you, it alters you a lot. And he also, man, he laid the blueprint for everything I do today subconsciously without me even knowing. Me just watching him grind and hustle and maneuver was me learning and soaking. Sometimes learning doesn't come straight hand or through a notebook, or it comes from somebody telling you, but it just comes through observation.
Yeah. That's word up. That's word up. Another facet of 10,000. You throw your alley oop here, but another facet of 10,000 hours or 10,000 shots, as you call it, requires not only practice but also observation. What artists do you think played a major role in the development of your
Man,
work and brain?
Kanye, Drake, Kendrick, Cole, Hove, all the greats for sure. DMX, Pac, I really man, I really studied.
Yeah.
I remember I used to come home from middle school and just look up like top 100 bars and finding Lloyd Banks and Papoose and some of these guys who you don't see now, but they were on these blogs back in the blog era on these lists. And man, I'm shaped by everything I see and hear though. Every time I walk outside or hear something new on Spotify, I'm kind of shaped by it. I'll end up writing a folk song or something else just off a little piece of something I've
Yeah.
heard. So everything, all art, everything I receive, it's all consumption.
Yeah, yeah, word, word. That's real. That's a shirt that I saw. I don't know if y'all got that way out there. I'm in Mississippi, so you touching the third coast now. You touching the East Coast, and I'm down here in the South. But there's this store called Spencer's, and like they have like all these like anime shirts and all that. And one of them says, "Warning: I'm a writer. Anything you say and do will
And
be used
for
in my art."
certain,
You know what I'm saying?
for certain, and I use names.
Word. Yeah. Word, word. All right. So now also on I think this is on Hasten That Flows too. You say never let your ego interfere with the plan, right? Like there's all these like mantras, right? That these bars that could easily go in like, you have the
Right.
Facebook status Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? You're killing it on that here, right? And I can't remember what interview it was, but you were talking about how like labels have been reaching out, of course, because the work, good dope selling
Come
stuff,
on.
the work gonna do what it's gonna do. And you mentioned Russ had reached out. Chomp to Russ, like the way she worked, Russ. You know what I'm saying? And then he had not only shown interest, but he's invested in the product. What is working with him like, and what was the greatest piece of advice you could give him?
Man, working with him is great. He's a fantastic support system. He's there whenever I need advice or information or anything. He's an open book. Um, in terms of advice, I think his greatest piece of advice was his life, being able to observe his blueprint and
Mm-hmm.
experience what he's done. Like that was him living the highest actors to inspire, and just him living and being himself was like the greatest gem he could ever give me.
Yeah, word, word. Are you a heavy reader?
Man, very.
Ah, yes. 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 What would be like give me three of
Man,
your favorite
I
books.
really love
Or
Battle
the three that
Cry
pop
by
in your
Jason
mind before I go.
Wilson. Sad Guru's Inner Engineering, and uh and I'll say I got so many favorites. Mm, Probably man, I
Look, I
really
already
love
know.
Swami's books. I gotta get back on the third. It's a rough one. There's a book called Where Are You Going? I gotta get the author's name. He's like an Indian mystic that was gifted to me that's really great as well. But yeah, man, I love Jason Wilson's
Yeah.
Swami. Sadhguru is one of my favorites. I just be reading a lot of random life insight books, like I don't read a lot of stories or like
Yeah, yeah.
novels and shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My one of my homeboys gave me a Gita,
Oh yeah, I got
Bhagavad
that,
Gita.
man. That's a great one.
And
And the Way of the Superior Man is a really, really great book. Really a beat you down.
take that one down too. Yeah, I'm gonna take that one down too. Yeah, that the Gita, man, because I grew up reading the Bible, and then my homeboy, he's Hindu, gave me the Gita, and then I tried. I haven't read the whole Quran. I've tried to read it. It's a little bit more um like inaccessible for me, right?
The Gita is
But
great
that Gita
because
was beautiful,
it's like the
man.
Bible and the Quran but compressed. And that's how
Mm-hmm.
everything should be, because
Yeah.
life is fairly simple, and the Gita really puts that into perspective. It's like the Eightfold Path, for Buddhists. It's a very, very,
Yep.
very
Yep.
simple life principles. Like this shit is not that complex and difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Look, success
Come
comes easy
on.
to a simple man. Shut up
And
and do the
stop
work.
trying to
That's a
teach what you
simple
don't
man. I'm telling
understand.
you, son. Come on, son. Yeah, man. Okay, let's see. So this is something that you kind of like. We kind of was just kind of cooking on, but like this, like that spiritual aspect. And in one of your analysis about like harm, you said like harm comes from a place where harm was done. Can you speak to why that was like? That's something to kind of to dive into, and how like medicinals have helped you kind of understand
Yeah, I
that.
mean,
You know what I mean?
man, it's one of those, hurt people. It's just one of those things. Like, there's a piece in the book
Mm-hmm.
where I say, I'm only able to hurt people when I'm willing to hurt myself, and I'm only willing to hurt myself when I'm not well. And anytime someone's walking around and looking for a fight and looking for an argument or just picky, it's because they're not feeling great about themselves, about life, about whatever.
Yeah.
And harm is one of those things. There's no one. Happy people don't walk around looking to cause harm. They want to see people smile. They want to push that energy and have it, just generate more. And it's just harm is a perpetuating cycle. Like, sometimes that's all you
Yeah.
know.
Word,
So
word.
you don't even know that you're inflicting harm. You're just doing what you know.
Word, word. Yeah. I was on with Candace Elo yesterday because
Happy
it's my
birthday,
birthday.
dog.
This is appreciated. This is super cool because, like I said, I'm a huge fan. But she was talking about how important it is to like let students like work out
Mhm.
their rage, right? Because they're being harmed in ways that we can't even see, and harmed in ways that will make adults crumble these days. And it's important for them to kind of work that out because it'll come out somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And that just when I was reading that part, it had me kind of thinking about that, and that's one reason why I kind of suggest your work because it's what I call like triumphant music. You know what I'm saying? It's like if this don't get you jumping, if this don't make you wow, then
Facts.
I don't know what will. There's everything you need in there, right? So there's a militant thread in some of your freestyles and songs that I love. For someone so young, you seem very sure of what needs to happen for like the Black folks that in terms of community knowledge and information. I mean, you got songs like William Lynch, The Last Bars and Soup and Crackers, Proud Boys, and even in the ultra personal Angel, you say you've never seen a
Come
nigga
on.
hang and make it off that rope, right? Like, and I know that song is personal to your homie, but where does the inspiration for that type of imagery come from? Like when I heard that, I was like, man. And there's this book I'm reading right now of this literal hanging where a man is like literally saved in the middle of being hung. So he makes it off that rope. So where does the inspiration for that type of imagery, a type of like historical reference in some of
I
those
think it
lyrics?
lives in me. Just naturally. I think it's
Mm,
imprinted in our DNA. Um, it's impossible for you to not feel. I remember, years back watching certain movies like, damn, American History X. You ever seen that movie? I remember, man, watch it, but don't
yes, I
watch it,
have.
but watch it. But I remember
Yeah,
watching that
yeah, yeah. One of
movie,
those.
and like going to work, like just like upset, enraged, and that's just. And I remember as a
Yeah.
kid watching Rudy Bridges and feeling away, just my friend Martin, just naturally. I think that shit lives in us. It's like, it's like Black people and swimming and our natural fear of dogs. Like, it's that thing that we don't understand, but it's in your DNA. It's imprinted in you deeply. And for me, it's just deeply woven. I had a period where I was really just into reading certain literature, miseducation of the Negro, and things like that, just really trying to
Hmm.
find out who I was and what was my purpose here. And I
Yeah,
think,
yeah, yeah.
those songs and those lyrics just come from that outrage. I mean, we constantly see us being killed and murdered on TV and on the news. It's just something that kind of lives in you.
Word, word. Hey, hey, that's real. That's real. So in a write up I read on you, it said last January you had 4,000 followers. December, you hit 75,000. And by the time of this live, you had 127,000. What is it like enjoying the fruits of your labor like this? You got, the Breakfast Club interview, you got folks showing up to the garage, the crib, Too Short that came through, all these folks. What is it like, basking in that moment and making sure that you don't because the moment is fleeting, you know what I mean? What is it like kind of taking all this success
Man,
in such a quick time, right? Well, I guess in such a quick time in
right,
terms of that,
like
because I know
like
you've
you
been
say,
working,
it's fleeting.
I'm saying?
I don't
Yeah.
often get to sit in it, and I was just talking to one of my boys today about all of this and how I don't really feel much of it. A moment comes and happens, and it's really gone for me, and it's hard for me to really be happy and proud of the accomplishments I do have. I don't get to sit in them long. I'm starting to figure out that my mission here is very immaterial. There's not too many things that can happen in my life outside of me that fulfills me. And I've been noticing this time and time after again, some great shit have happened and cool things, and I'm like, it doesn't do it for me. And yeah, I think I figured out today it's just
Yeah.
immaterial. I think my journey is a lot deeper, and it's surpassing this world now. So I'm trying to figure all that out now.
Yeah, yeah, man. I wish you nothing but
Beautiful.
time to do it, brother, because yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful thing to watch. So this my last one. You ready? This is my favorite question of What a Week, right? Um, what is one question that you wished people asked you in all these interviews? What's something that you were like, "Man, I wish they would ask
Um,
me this." That's
Yeah,
a
a
good one,
very
huh?
interesting question. What do I wish people ask me? I, I don't know. I never go into these with any type of intention or expectation or anything. I really like to be surprised. I
Yeah.
always tell people don't brief me before, just ask whatever so I could kind of move from the heart. I have no idea. That's an interesting question. I don't know. That's like a what would you ask yourself type question. Man.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
got
what
one
what
just
is
in
it?
case this happens. So what's up with the infatuation with Crocs? I mean, is it like a get up and go thing? Like,
Man,
why do you like
I think
Crocs?
it's all
What is attractive
encompassing,
about Crocs?
I'm really big on comfort, and Crocs has really solidified it for me. I haven't wore regular unless I'm going to go hoop or ride my bike. I don't have a need to wear regular shoes, and yeah, the convenience of just being able to go really works for me. As since a kid, I've hated
Yeah.
tying my shoes, so like this really works. And the all-terrain ones, I could take them hiking and do all types of different shit. So man, yeah, it just worked. I was against it for a while. I was like, them white people shoes. But
That's how
when
I
you finally get up in the swing and you understand, man, I start realizing that sometimes white people know the code. Like they understand some shit that we don't get. Like I went
Yeah.
hiking one time and we were looking at they shoes and I'm like, all them white people got on the same shoes. What's up with them shoes? I went and got some and I went on a hike,
Yeah.
about a 7 or 8 hour hike. I was great. That's why they wear them
You was
fucking
in there.
shoes like that. It's meant. It was a purpose behind it. So I had to really start looking a little bit deeper. Like, okay, why are they doing these things? And when I got my pair of Crocs, it was like, I get it.
Ah.
The code has been cracked.
Hey. Yeah, yeah. Hey, man. Well, that's word up, man. I might have to go ahead and let my mom is like bedazzling them joints back home and selling them. And she was telling me
Hey
she's gonna give me
man,
a pair for my
get you
birthday
the
on
all
Saturday. So I might
terrain
have to be
joints,
like,
cause then you can go outside and run around and play. You can step on rocks. You can go in some water, man. Get you the all terrain joints and treat yourself. You gonna understand. They ain't gonna never come off your feet.
word, the code. Like I see somebody in the chat saying the code has been cracked, man. Well, yo, man, I appreciate this more than you know, man. Thank you for the music, for for putting out this dope merch, these dope lyrics, because it gets to a point, and this is no slight. on other music, but you want like balance, and to be so young and to take the risk on making something so pure. You know what I'm saying? That is just amazing, and it means a lot to my students because now they know. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta like you said in one of the freestyles. You ain't
Come
gotta
on.
kill people in all of your songs, and all that. This you
You
can
could
just
just
be you,
be.
dog, and you know, you could just be, and you can kind of create out of that. So, man, I really, really appreciate you hopping on. I hit the man up. He was like, "Black man, let's do it."
Come on.
That's love, man. And I
I
appreciate you
appreciate
popping
you.
on,
I'm
man. I
honored,
wish you
man.
nothing but
Thank you.
more success. Yes, yes. Peace, peace.
Beautiful.
Y'all have a wonderful night.